welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 12 different lists that you can create to organize your life. These lists will help things run just a little bit more smoothly. They can help you get more done and can even help you be a little bit happier. So I hope that you enjoy this list of lists that I have for you today. If you do, make sure you hit a thumbs up on this video to let me know and to help more people find this video. Okay, so the first list that I would recommend you make to help your life be more organized is a list of current projects that you are responsible for. I find that by creating a list of all the different projects that I'm currently working on, I'm able to really stay on top of all of them and get them done more quickly. You might put things on this list that are obvious projects like writing an assignment or turning in a report to your boss or revamping your website, but you also might put some things on this list that you were thinking of as goals, but really they're not so much a goal. They're not like make $100,000 this year or get your first 1,000 YouTube subscribers or run a marathon. They're not really things like that. They're really more like projects. They're things that you know you need to do X, Y, and Z and you will complete it. Something like finishing a big work assignment or maybe learning something new, like learning how to cook. You might think of that as a goal, but really it's more of a project. By getting all of these projects out of your brain and onto paper, two things will happen. First of all, you'll have them all in one place where you can review them on a regular basis, perhaps once a week or once a month, and you can think, what do I need to do next in order to make some progress with this project? But the other thing that will happen is that by putting them on paper, you'll be able to really see all of them in one place, and you might realize that some of the things that in your mind you've been thinking, I need to be working on that, or I'm trying to make progress on it, altogether there's too many projects for you to really be focused on at one time, and so you can choose to intentionally cut some of them out or put some of them off until a later date. When they're all just swimming around in your head, then you might be trying to do all of them and not realize that it's really too much for you to do all at one time. But seeing them on paper can help you make a more black and white decision and be more intentional about what you're actually trying to spend your time on. The second list that can help you organize your life is kind of similar, but it's a list of current responsibilities. So the way that I'm seeing these two lists as different are projects are something that have a specific end completion state that you're trying to get to, whereas these ongoing responsibilities are things that you're going to have to keep doing every day or every week indefinitely, and you're never going to finish them. So it might be something like blog once a week, or turn in your homework every week, wash the dishes every day, take your kids to school every day, something like that. So something that you have to do over and over again, and it's good to have it all on a list because that way you can again be really clear about where your time is going, what you have on your plate. You can choose to cut things out or to keep them, and it can just really allow you to feel so much less overwhelmed when you see them all black and white on paper and to make those tough decisions about where you're really spending your time. The next list is a really fun one, and that is a list of your dreams. So this is kind of like goals, but it's more long-term than that, and you don't have to confine yourself to things that feel realistic or that you know you can achieve, but instead just dreaming big, writing down those things that you would like to do someday so that you can start to conceive plans of how you might be able to make them happen, make them feel more real and more possible over time. So simply by writing down those dreams, you make it a lot more likely that you'll be able to figure out a way to actually one day reach them. The next list is one that I know you should be making, but maybe you're not, and that's simply a budget. Now, a budget could be really complex and involve all sorts of spreadsheets or different softwares, but you can make a simple list of where you want your income to go every single month. So just start by writing down how much money you make each month. If your income varies from one month to the next, then you could either write down your average income, or you could write down how much money you expect to make next month. And then simply write down a list of all of your expenses and different things that you spend money on and how much you want to or need to spend on each of those things. This can help you be more realistic about your budget, more intentional about where your money is going. So instead of just wondering where your money went or being in denial about where your money is going and letting debts rack up, instead you can really plan where every single dollar that you earn is going to go, including some money for saving and investing and giving, those categories that maybe aren't getting the attention that they really deserve and need. The next two lists go hand in hand. One of them is a weekly meal plan. Now this can get super complex and detailed, and you can plan out every single meal and snack that you're going to make and exactly what it is and find a recipe, everything like that. Or you can keep it really simple. Just plan out your dinners so that you can have a plan for the end of every day, so you don't find yourself scrambling, wondering what you could possibly cook and not having the ingredients. Of course, planning out your meals ahead of time can enable you to eat so much more healthfully, and it also can make it easier for you to find food, you know, so you're not feeling so stressed out by that. And then the list that goes right along with that is a grocery list. Now, of course, pretty much everyone makes a grocery list, right? So they don't forget things they want to buy. But if you correlate your grocery list with your meal plan, then you can actually make plans to buy the things that you need to have in order to make recipes that you want to make, either because there's something you want to try out or just to allow yourself to eat more healthfully. And of course, the other benefit of writing down a full, proper grocery list is that you can actually plan out exactly what you're gonna buy, which can help you buy healthier things instead of just buying what you feel like, and it can help you save money because instead of just buying what's on sale or what looks tasty, you can buy things that are budget friendly and healthy, like I said before. The next list is one that might not seem like it would have a very big impact, but I actually feel like it completely changed my life. And it's a list that I wrote a lot about in my book, which is right there on the shelf. It's called Sorted. And I put that book there because you guys kept bugging me about it. You were like, you have all these bookshelves and why is your book not on any of them? So I took your advice. Now there's a copy of my book up there. Anyway, so this next list is a weekly chore checklist. And the reason this changed my life is because before I had a weekly chore checklist, I would just try to do chores whenever they needed to get done. So like if my bathroom looked dirty, I would be like, oh, I should clean my bathroom. Or if the floors were dirty, oh, I should sweep the floors. But the problem with that was that it took so much motivation to be able to convince myself to actually do it, because I was just telling myself like, oh, you need to do that, you really should do that. And then I would get in this argument with myself and find myself procrastinating and hating myself for not doing my chores, not doing things that I knew that I should be doing. And it was just a constant battle. But by making a weekly chore checklist and assigning specific chores to each day of the week, it really made the process just so much more objective. So when I got to that day, you know, when it was Monday, I just would do the laundry because that's what I do on Mondays. So I decided ahead of time what I was going to do, and it stopped being this battle of trying to convince myself, but it just became automatic. And it meant that my house was clean all the time, because instead of waiting until the bathroom looked dirty to wash it, instead I would just clean it on a certain day every single week. And my bathroom, you know, it wasn't dirty in 1 week. It takes my bathroom 10 or 14 days to get dirty. So by doing it ahead of time, by doing it on that specific same day every week, it meant that it always stayed clean. And that meant that it was way easier to clean it and more enjoyable to clean it. And I didn't ever have to deal with having a gross bathroom. Another list that you can make that will organize your life is a to-do list for each week. So how I do this is I take my journal, and for each week, normally for the next 3 or 4 weeks, I write a page in my journal that just has those dates for that week at the top of it. And then I use that page of my journal to catch all the tasks that I need to do on that week. So whenever I think of something that I need to get done in the future, instead of just trying to remember it or scheduling it for a specific day when it may or may not work out, instead I write it just on one of those pages that is for a specific week. And then when I get to that week, then I can assign each of those different tasks to a specific day on that week, and then they for sure get done and I don't forget things. So instead of like thinking over and over again, oh, I really need to schedule the oil change for my car, instead, as soon as I think it, I just write it down for next week or the week after that, and then when I get to that week, it gets done, instead of me forgetting it and never getting around to it. And the next list goes along with a weekly to-do list, and that is the daily to-do list. And so how I do that is every single evening I write a list for the next day of things that I need to do, and that's based on a few different things. It's based on tasks from the weekly to-do list that I decide I'm gonna do tomorrow. It's also based on random other things that I remember, and it's also based on things that are on my calendar. So I look at my calendar and I make sure that I don't have any appointments appointments scheduled for the next day, anything like that. And then finally, it's based on my weekly routine, which is a list of things that I've decided ahead of time I need to do every single day of the week. So a list of things to do on Mondays, things to do on Tuesdays to keep my business running smoothly. If you want to hear more about my whole planning system, that was a super short summary of how that all works. I have another video about my current planning system. I think it's called my life-changing planning system that you need to try, and I'll leave a link to that video down below in the description box. The next two lists that I'd recommend that you make are a list of what's working and a list of what's not working in your life right now. So there's tons of stuff that you're doing over and over again. Maybe it's a workout or an eating routine. Maybe it's the way that you're getting your schoolwork done. Maybe it's specific classes you're taking. Maybe it's your job or how you're doing a specific task at your job. All these different things that you're doing. Some of them are working really well right now and they're producing positive results and you feel good about them and they're moving you towards your goals, okay? Others of them are not working so well. Maybe you hate them, maybe they're boring, maybe they're not really helping you towards your goals and they're just keeping you stuck where you're at right now. For one reason or another, some things are not working. So by making these two lists, a list of things that are working and a list of things that are not working, you can get clear about where you need to be spending more of your time and you can feel good about those things. And then you also can figure out which things you need to figure out how to cut out of your life or somehow adjust how you're doing them to make it so you can enjoy them more or so that you can get better results, or maybe you just realize that some of these things are completely unnecessary and you just need to cut them out of your schedule. All right, and then finally, the last list that you can make is actually a whole collection of lists, and those are lists for routines that you have in your life. So maybe this is a list for your morning routine, or a list for your evening routine, or your workout routine, or your eating routine, or a routine for any specific thing that you do over and over again. Like maybe it's a routine of things that you need to do to write a blog post, or to write an assignment for school, or to do some specific task at work, or to clean your kitchen. Writing a list for each of those different routines can really help you to improve your process and also to turn those routines into habits. So for example, if your mornings are not really looking how you envision them looking or how you want them to look, then that might be not because you don't know what you want to do in the mornings, but because it's not organized enough. So by taking the time to write down a short list of things that you want to do every single morning and really planning it out in a strategic way, it's going to make it so much more likely that it will actually happen and easier for you to actually act on it and do those things every single morning. When it's just this vague idea of a whole bunch of different things that you would really like to do in the morning, it's probably not going to happen. But when you make this simple process and you turn it into a routine, then it's much easier to do. You can do it over and over again and it will actually turn into a habit. Alright, so those are the 12 lists that you can make to organize your life. I know that personally I am a list maker. Comment down below if you are a list maker too, if you love making lists. I find the process really enjoyable, but I also find that it helps me so much to get my life more organized and to figure out ways to be more strategic in my life, to plan my life better so that I can reach my goals and enjoy my life more. If you enjoyed this video and you're not subscribed, then make sure you click that red button down below and subscribe now, because I make 2 videos every single week about success, personal development, and entrepreneurship, and I would love to have you join me for the next one. Of course, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Leave me any new video suggestions that you have down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found this super helpful. My name is Gillian Perkins, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.